Imagine a coastline where shadows move faster than the law, and billions of dollars in illicit powder flow through the cracks of sovereign borders. In the heart of West Africa, a silent war is raging, one that threatens to swallow the futures of two giant nations. For years, Nigeria and Ghana have fought separate battles against a common enemy, the international drug cartels. But today, the rules of engagement are changing as two powerhouses finally join forces to strike. Nigeria's NDLEA and Ghana's NACOC are no longer just neighboring agencies, they are now a unified front. The Gulf of Guinea has long been a playground for South American syndicates using African ports as transit points for Europe. From the bustling docks of Apapa to the quiet shores of Tima, the scale of trafficking is staggering. We are talking about tons of cocaine, heroin, and synthetic opioids that poison communities and fund violent insurgencies across the entire continent. The sheer ingenuity of these traffickers is terrifying. They hide their deadly cargo in everything from hollowed-out timber to innocent shipments of food and industrial machinery. Intelligence suggests that these syndicates operate like multinational corporations, with sophisticated logistics networks that cross borders with ease. Until now, they exploited the gaps in regional cooperation, slipping through the fingers of the law by jumping from one jurisdiction to another. But that tactical advantage is about to be systematically dismantled by a new alliance. Under the leadership of high-ranking Nigerian officials, the NDLEA has undergone a radical transformation. The agency has moved away from sporadic arrests to high-intensity, intelligence-led operations that target the kingpins rather than just the couriers. The results have been unprecedented, with record-breaking seizures that have sent shockwaves through the global criminal underworld. The philosophy is simple: there will be no safe haven for drug lords on Nigerian soil, and soon, nowhere left to hide in West Africa. Security experts describe the region as a narco bridge connecting South American production hubs to lucrative markets in London, Paris, and Berlin. The stakes are impossibly high, with billions of dollars at play and lives hanging in the balance. In the crowded markets of Lagos and the sprawling suburbs of Accra, the devastating impact of cheap, potent narcotics is visible on every corner. This is not just a crime problem, it is a public health emergency that demands a coordinated regional response. The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding represents a historic shift in West African geopolitics. For decades, bureaucratic hurdles and mutual suspicion hampered cooperation between regional law enforcement agencies. But the sheer volume of drugs passing through the Benin-Nigeria border and the Ghana-Togo corridor forced a change in strategy. Now, intelligence will flow as freely as the trade itself, allowing officers to track shipments in real time as they cross from one nation into the territory of the other. Let us look at the numbers that define this crisis. In the last year alone, the NDLEA has seized thousands of kilograms of illicit substances and arrested high-profile traffickers who previously felt untouchable. Meanwhile, Ghana's Narcotics Control Commission has been ramping up its maritime surveillance, intercepting vessels laden with narcotics before they can reach the shore. These individual successes are impressive, but they are only the beginning of what is possible when these two powerful agencies work together. The focus of this new partnership is not just on interdiction at the borders, but on dismantling the financial networks that sustain the trade. Cartels rely on sophisticated money laundering schemes to move their profits through the regional banking system. By sharing financial intelligence and freezing assets across borders, the NDLEA and NACOC aim to hit the drug lords where it hurts the most, their wallets. Without capital, the machinery of the international drug trade begins to grind to a halt. Training and capacity building are also central to the new agreement. Officers from both nations will now participate in joint tactical exercises, sharing techniques for undercover operations and forensic analysis. This cross-pollination of expertise ensures that a standard of excellence is maintained across the region. A dark-skinned African officer in Accra will now have the same tactical mindset as his counterpart in Lagos, creating a seamless wall of defense against the syndicates that seek to exploit their borders. But the enemy is not sitting idly by. As law enforcement evolves, so do the methods of the cartels. We are seeing an increase in the use of semi-submersible vessels and drones to bypass traditional naval patrols. The syndicates are also recruiting local youths, exploiting poverty and lack of opportunity to build an army of low-level distributors. This social dimension of the drug war is perhaps the most difficult to address, requiring more than just guns and handcuffs to truly win. Inside the NDLEA headquarters, the atmosphere is one of intense focus and renewed purpose. The halls are lined with photographs of successful raids and the faces of fallen heroes who gave their lives in this struggle. Every officer knows the risks involved. The cartels are known for their ruthlessness and their willingness to use extreme violence to protect their interests. Yet, the resolve of the Nigerian force has never been stronger, fueled by a desire to see a drug-free nation. Across the border in Ghana, the NACOC is undergoing its own evolution. The transition from a board to a full commission has granted the agency more powers and greater autonomy. This legislative shift was a crucial precursor to the MAO, as it allowed Ghana to match the operational intensity of the NDLEA. Together, they represent the most formidable anti-narcotics alliance in West African history, a partnership born of necessity and tempered by the harsh reality of the modern drug trade. Consider the strategic importance of the Lagos-Abidjan corridor. This highway is a vital artery for legitimate trade, but it is also the primary route for the overland movement of narcotics. With joint checkpoints and coordinated patrols, the NDLEA and NACOC are tightening the noose on this critical transit route. Every vehicle search and every suspicious person questioned sends a message to the syndicates: the road is no longer safe for their illicit cargo, and the law is watching. International partners, including the DEA and Interpol, have lauded this move toward regional synergy. They recognize that the global fight against drugs is only as strong as its weakest link. By strengthening the cooperation between Nigeria and Ghana, West Africa is no longer the soft underbelly of international drug enforcement. This regional leadership is setting a blueprint for other African nations to follow, proving that through collaboration, even the most entrenched criminal enterprises can be challenged and eventually dismantled. The human cost of this trade is often hidden behind the headlines of seizures and arrests. In the quiet corridors of rehabilitation centers in Lagos and Accra, young men and women fight to reclaim their lives from the grip of addiction. Their stories are a sobering reminder of why this fight matters. Every gram of cocaine intercepted is a life potentially saved, and every cartel member brought to justice is a step toward healing a broken community. The stakes are truly that personal. Behind the closed doors of the signing ceremony, the air was thick with the weight of responsibility. The leaders of both agencies spoke of a future where West Africa is defined by its innovation and culture, not by the flow of illicit substances. The signing of the document was not just a photo opportunity, it was a binding commitment to share the burden of regional security. It signaled the end of the era of isolation and the beginning of a united front. The role of technology in this fight cannot be overstated. From satellite imagery to advanced digital forensics, the NDLEA and NACOC are leveraging modern tools to outmaneuver the cartels. They are monitoring encrypted communications and tracking the digital footprints of high-level kingpins. This technological edge is vital in a world where crime moves at the speed of light. By pooling their resources, both nations can afford the high-tech equipment necessary to stay one step ahead of the well-funded international syndicates. Corruption remains one of the greatest obstacles to success. Cartels have long used their vast wealth to compromise officials and penetrate the very agencies meant to stop them. The new agreement includes provisions for internal oversight and rigorous anti-corruption measures. By holding their own officers to the highest standards of integrity, the NDLEA and NACOC are ensuring that the trust of the public is maintained. A clean force is a powerful force, and integrity is their most effective weapon. The geography of the region offers both challenges and opportunities. The vast maritime border requires constant surveillance, while the dense forests of the interior provide perfect cover for clandestine laboratories. Joint maritime patrols are now being planned to secure the waters from the Bight of Benin to the Ghanaian coast. These operations will involve naval assets from both countries, creating a blue water barrier that will make it increasingly difficult for ships to offload their cargo to smaller local vessels. Public awareness is the other half of the strategy. The NDLEA's War Against Drug Abuse campaign is being mirrored by similar initiatives in Ghana. By educating the youth about the dangers of narcotics, the agencies are attacking the problem from the demand side. They are building a culture of resistance, where the community itself rejects the presence of drugs and supports the efforts of law enforcement. This grassroots support is essential for the long-term sustainability of the fight against trafficking. As we look to the future, the success of this MAO will be measured in more than just kilograms of drugs seized. It will be measured in the safety of our streets, the stability of our economies, and the health of our children. The road ahead is long and fraught with peril, as the cartels will undoubtedly fight back with renewed ferocity. But the message from Lagos to Accra is clear: the giant has awakened, and it is no longer fighting this war alone. The collaboration between Nigeria and Ghana is a beacon of hope for the entire continent. It demonstrates that regional challenges require regional solutions and that the strength of many is greater than the strength of one. This partnership is a testament to the political will of both nations to prioritize the safety of their citizens over the convenience of the status quo. It is a bold step toward a more secure and prosperous West Africa, free from the shadow of narcotics. Critics may wonder if such an agreement can truly change the tide against the global drug trade. But history has shown that when nations unite with a clear purpose, even the most powerful criminal empires can fall. The NDLEA and NACOC are writing a new chapter in the history of African law enforcement, one defined by courage, cooperation, and an unwavering commitment to justice. The eyes of the world are watching, and the results of this alliance will echo for years. In the end, the war against drugs is a war for the soul of the nation. It is a battle between those who seek to build and those who seek to destroy. By standing together, Nigeria and Ghana have chosen to build a future where their borders are gateways to opportunity, not pathways for poison. The fight continues, the stakes remain high, and the world waits to see if this brotherhood of steel can finally break the back of the cartels.